I'm Catherine Endy, the family life coach, and I help parents of 2 to 10-year-olds feel calmer, more confident, and more connected to their kids so they can actually enjoy parenting. And many of my clients and students have some resistance to a suggestion that I often make, which is that they use curiosity and playfulness to gain more connection with their kid, to get their kid to, put their shoes on, get out the door in the morning, get ready for bed. And of course, there is a reason that I suggest this, but the objection is that getting curious and being playful takes too much time. Like, I don't have time to make it all fun all the time, right? And what I want to say to this is that you actually don't have time not to. Think of it this way, like it's like when you're driving somewhere on the highway and you encounter some really slow traffic. So you're like, cool, I'll just get off at this exit and go a different way, right? And most of the time what ends up happening is that you get to your destination at exactly the same time you would if you had stayed on the highway, right? Or maybe you even get there later because you didn't really know what would happen if you'd stay in traffic, and maybe where you get off on this exit, you don't really know that how to go that way as well, and you just don't even know if it's going to take longer. So maybe that staying in traffic would have ended up, being pretty quick. Like maybe the traffic would have eased up, and you just don't really have a way of knowing that really. So we have a tendency to want to do something, right? Like we want to stay in motion. We want to keep moving because we're afraid of what will happen if we stop or slow down, right? So that's why we get off the highway when the traffic starts to slow down, because we feel like if we're still moving, we're actually doing something. So the same is true with your kid in these situations where they're getting involved in their own thing, or they're resisting or being defiant, however you want to phrase it. You want them to put their shoes on and get their stuff and get in the car and keep moving and keep going. But you have no idea what would happen if you allowed the slowing down, like if you just leaned into some of that resistance. So, like, what if you just stayed with the feet dragging for a minute and got curious and made some observations? Like, I can see that you don't want to put your shoes on right now. I can see that you are really involved in that toy you're playing with. Like, what if you stopped trying to do and just be with it? What if you used your child's natural state of being, which is playfulness, to move the traffic along? Like, just move that situation along to just see what would happen. Just like staying on the highway to see how quickly the traffic might clear up if you just sat there and like take a breath and listen to some music instead of constantly being in motion. Just see what happens. And if you have conscious parenting questions for me, you can always reach out to me at hello@catherineendy.com. And as always, let me know how it's going, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.